Good.
Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode of the Irrigation Training Series. I'm Richard Restuccia, your host, and this week we're going to be talking about the business of irrigation again. But I'll tell you, with the recent changes and merger between Rivulis and Jain Irrigation, this is one of my most favorite subjects to talk about because what we're really seeing, not just for Jain and for Rivulis, but for the entire industry, is some real change. And now that we're bringing together Manna and Jain Logic into one platform, we're really revolutionizing ag water management. And it's really going to make a situation that's not only good for the Jain and Manna customers, but also for the industry as a whole. I think this puts Jain and Rivulis in such a competitive situation here that it's going to be hard for others to keep up. But hopefully this will raise all levels and be good for the irrigation industry as a whole. So helping us through this today is Ryan McNeish. Now, Ryan's the VP of US Operations of Manna Irrigation. And for those of you who have seen him on the webinar training series before, you know that Ryan has been involved with ag tech for nearly 20 years now. You know, he was one of the original founders of PureSense, a company that Jain acquired about 8 years ago now. So when you look for somebody who's been involved in ag tech or ag tech irrigation for 20 years, it's really hard to find. So one thing that's great is Ryan brings a lot of his experience to now this Manna Irrigation in the US. We're really fortunate to have somebody leading that group with so much experience and talent who's really seen it day to day for many, many years. Looking forward to all the great things he's going to do. And I want to say, Ryan, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Richard. Nice to be here.
So, you know, the merger, the first announcement was last summer, but really we've got the final approvals only recently, and today is really day 13 of the merger. I like to remind people of that because, some people think it's been going on for a long time, but that's really been it. But how's it going so far for you, Ryan?
It's going really well. You know, it has been in the works for a long time, so we've been able to have some good conversations with some folks on the Manna side. It's been great to get to know them. They have an exciting technology platform. They have a great team over there. It's a good fit for us on the Jain Logic side. I think it's a good marriage, and the merger has been going well so far.
Yeah, great. That's good to hear. So one thing, Ryan, is maybe your role has changed a little bit in the past few weeks as VP of US Operations for Manna. How has this really changed for you? What is the difference? What are you going to be doing?
So yeah, it's changed significantly for me. My role at Jain, I was a VP of technology for the past 3 years, and I was focused mainly on improving Jain Logic's technology platform. Jain's technology platform, they had some fairly old infrastructure on the IT side, so I've been working a lot on the IT side and helping shepherd along the various acquisitions that we've been making on the high-tech technology side. This change and this move over to VP of Operations with Manna really gives me the opportunity to come back to my roots and work more directly with growers on the technology platforms that we're providing, and you know, come back to focusing mainly on the technology side that is customer facing. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and I got to tell you, I think you're just perfect for that role. So that's good for us and good for all the customers. It was very exciting. Now, Manna might be a new name to a lot of people, right? Jain Logic customers might not know that name. So, what can you tell us about Manna?
So I got a little bit out of order here. So Manna Irrigation, it's a great team of agronomists, irrigation specialists, and data scientists. They've developed a platform it's a software-only platform that focuses on imagery from high-resolution satellite imagery, and does a lot of detailed analysis and scheduling. It builds schedules for you. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words here. They started in 2005 as Agam. They were providing services for the Israeli market. Rivulis bought them in 2016 and established Manna Irrigation, and they developed the platform that is still in existence today. They're really on the cutting edge, I think, on the satellite analytics side, in generating daily recommendations that are really actionable and high quality imagery that they're providing to thousands of farmers, across the world. Really great organization. It extends, something that we've been really interested in, the Jain Logic side for many years now, and provides a really great platform for us to interact with as we're gathering field data with our sensors, and be able to feed these models that are really some of the most advanced in the industry.
The other thing that was really jumped out at me, and I've heard this so many times before, well, you can get satellite images from almost everywhere. It's what you do with them that matters.
Absolutely.
And when I saw the team at Manna and I saw the amount of educated professionals, PhDs, it was somewhat overwhelming. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, they've got an amazing team there that's got, close to 15 years of experience in this space, doing this satellite analysis. Like you said, you can get satellite data from anywhere. A lot of times it's free these days, but oftentimes you don't know what to do with it. What Manna is doing with it is really taking things to the next level, where they're combining the satellite data, and we're talking about satellite data that's not just the freely available. They have some relationship with some private partners that get high quality imagery down to 3 meters and sometimes more if you task it. And they're taking that satellite data in conjunction with analysis of high resolution weather and field statistics, and generating daily schedules for you, as opposed to here's what ET is for this period. They're actually giving you advice on when you should be irrigating based on the conditions of your field. Really, really interesting stuff.
Yeah, so one of the questions I always get when this comes up, Ryan, is, well, how accurate is that data? Now, I know in the past you've done some testing and compared them to soil moisture sensing, satellite imaging, and what have you found?
It's been remarkably accurate. I was a little skeptical when we first started examining the space. In comparing our data that we're collecting in the field to the results that are provided by the satellite side, it's eerie how accurate it is. Anecdotally, we've done some testing with the Manna team, and you look at the recommendations that are coming out of the Manna platform, and I've been able to compare them to the actual irrigations that the growers put on the field over the past season. And the tracking is actually, they're right on top. The charts are right on top of each other. It's amazing. And we got feedback from that grower that their field was performing as well as they could have expected, and it was a really, really good year for them. So yeah, very accurate, and only getting better.
Yeah, so what a combination there, right? So for people who know Manna but don't know Jain Logic, what does Jain Logic do?
So Jain Logic, yeah, we've started out in 2005 as a company doing really data collection in the field and analysis of soil moisture, weather, pressure, irrigation system conditions, et cetera, and providing some insight as to how your fields are performing using that data. So we do a lot of analytics that's sensed by devices in the field. and we've had a partnership with the satellite side, but we haven't done any of that ourselves. What's really great about this integration with Manna is we can take both of these platforms that have very different, that started in very different places and combine them so that the analytics is just improved on both sides. We can, leverage everything we know about what's going on in the field and what the satellite is telling us, and generate much more accurate models than we've been able to in the past.
Yeah, so if I'm a Jain Logic customer now, this is good news for me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So as a Jain Logic customer, I received a letter from you last week talking about the changes and a new name. And I always get a little uneasy when I read these things, right? Who moved my cheese? Where's my cheese, right? Everybody's familiar with that book and that terminology. And that's what it might feel like for a few customers right now, too. So help those customers out. What's going to change for a Jain Logic customer going forward, this week, next month, next year?
Yeah, so immediately nothing changes. That we are going to have a name change and we'll rebrand in the future. Nothing's changing immediately. In terms of the current Jain Logic platform and the excellent people that have been here serving the local market, again, all the same, right? Manna, thankfully, has been committed to the continuity of our business and supporting our customers. Our customer relationship is one of the most important things to us, and we know, especially in agriculture, it's a very customer relationship-based business. We highly value the customers that we have. We love providing services for them. So thankfully, Manna comes with the same DNA, and they understand how important it is that we're providing these same services. So they're committed to the continuity of the team that's already in place. So your account managers, your field support, your customer support, and the R&D teams that have been in place building the solutions, they've committed to. So we're going to be here, and we're going to be, just expanding our services and growing as quickly as we can. But the same folks who you've been used to working with in the past will still be there. The investment that you've made in your hardware and the platform will still continue to exist and see no change in the near future. So rest assured, we're going to be here for you, and this is just going to mean bigger and better things in the future.
Well, that's great to hear, Ryan. So as a customer, if I've called David in the past, call David, Richard Gates, all this remains the same for me.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. I like that, right? So far, I'm hearing things are going to get better from the technology side, and but other things that I'm used to and comfortable with are going to stay the same. What about subscription prices? What do you see on the horizon for those?
Yeah, no change immediately. It's going to be it's a thing where we are going to take that step back and analyze the business, sort of around the world. But I think no change, certainly no change right away. And we'll have to see in the future.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. So another thing, Ryan, that you guys were so good at, and I hope I'm saying you guys are still so good at, is this water management consulting services, right? I love this concept because, anytime I've ever tried to sport, if I get a coach to help me do it, I certainly ramp up more quickly. I get better faster. I always looked at the water management consulting services as getting a coach to help me ramp up and get better at using technology. Is that still around? Is that going away? What's happening there?
It's absolutely still around. We're continuing to support our water management services customers, and we're still taking applications for any other grower out there who wants some help generating schedules for you using all the technology that's in your field. Absolutely still an ongoing service that we'll provide.
Yeah. Okay, great. Now I want to remind all our viewers today that I've got the chat and the Q&A open. So if you have some questions or want to make a comment, please add them in there and I'll get them to Ryan when it's appropriate. So, a couple other things though that I wanted to talk about, Ryan, is just additional changes, right, that might matter, things that we should be aware of.
Sure. Yeah, the future for our platforms together is incredibly bright, right? Um, if you look at the strengths of the Jain Logic platform with the infield data collection and automation services that we provide, and the remote sensing and analytics that Manna provides, and put those together, like I mentioned before, the models that we can build and the value that we can provide with those two as a combined service is much greater than the two parts as a whole. So that's exciting for us going forward. The continued support from Rivulus and the Manna team has been unwavering. They're very very solid in their comments that we are committed to this space and the existing customers of Jain Logic. What's exciting as well is you look at the greater team that the worldwide team that Manna has in place, that we can now leverage that team of agronomists that you spoke of, that have 15 years of experience in the space, and the data scientists that they have in place that can help us build those new models. It's an exciting time for me as a technologist, and it should be an exciting time for our customers as they see these expanded services roll out.
I'm with you on this, Ryan. Certainly, whenever I've really tried to raise my level of expertise in an area, right, I look at the network of people I can talk with and ask questions of. And gosh, the Jain Logic team is amazing and really knowledgeable and has a ton of experience. And when you take that team and multiply it by a global team that is really educated and experience, it just gets us so much further, I think.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we're getting a comment in from somebody right now saying the Bakersfield area loves what you guys have been doing. Just keep it up, keep up the great work. So that's
Appreciate it.
Good.
Always nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you. So I really appreciate the extra resource, right? I think that's going to make everything stronger. That's for sure.
Yeah, Rivulus, as I mentioned, Rivulus has, they're committed to ag tech as a whole. They have several other products in place with Rivulus that will augment the capabilities that we can provide with Jain Logic and Manna, right? And you'll see those, eventually. There are some dealer side tools that are really exciting that will allow us to more seamlessly, transition from, the sale and the install of the irrigation system to really providing that data directly to Jain Logic and Manna, and giving us the information that we need about the irrigation system, so we can, from a technology perspective, tell you how to most optimally use it and make sure it's healthy. So there's some really exciting things coming down the pike that way as well.
Yes, we've got another viewer wanting to know, Ryan. Manna satellite, Jain Logic, soil sensors. Do you use any weather information in this as well, or is it just soil moisture sensing and satellite?
Absolutely, yeah. So there's two different weather components that are going to be in place. So Jain Logic, we install weather stations with many of our infield sites. So you'll have that hyperlocal, that local weather for that field that's measured. On the Manna side, they currently have what they call hyperlocal weather, which is very accurate weather conditions that are provided by many different services that they pull together and really get as close as they can from a larger perspective using weather services, etc. In the long term, we'll be combining these two so that your local weather station will feed the satellite models that are being run by Manna to be even more accurate to your field. Yeah, it's exciting integration that's going to take place.
Yeah, so weather and forecasting weather became really important to anybody in California the last few months, right? Whether you're a grower or not, you've been looking at weather. The thing that I'm amazed at, Ryan, is how accurate these weather forecasts are. right? I could see it's going to rain at 1 a.m. and it's going to be done raining at 3 a.m. And then you're going to pause for an hour and have rain again at 4 a.m. And it was accurate. I mean, it was spot on. What's happening? Why are we getting such good weather data these days?
I think the science is just improving to this point, and there's so many services out there that are working incredibly hard on the models that are just giving us more accuracy. You know, when you can look on your phone and you can see at 4 o'clock it's going to start to rain, and then you hear that raindrop right at that time, it's pretty astounding for sure.
Yeah. So, okay. So you guys are pulling soil moisture data, satellite imaging, and weather information too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Ryan, anybody who's maybe tentative about using this type of technology as a grower, what might you have to say to them as far as jumping in? What would be the best way to do this?
The best way to do this, I mean, you can reach out to myself or any of our excellent sales team. You can look at the Jain Irrigation website for contact information. That's certainly available. From a getting your feet wet perspective, we're happy to walk you through what it means to get started in this technology. We can easily start you with a Manna subscription. It's a great way to get your introduction to the world of high tech, and what data can really tell you about what's going on in your field. And if you want to get a little more advanced and understand what's actually happening in the ground, up to 5 feet deep in your field there, you can talk to us about installing some soil moisture probes, and we can really dial in what's actually happening, not only above the soil but underneath, and give you the insights that you need to help you optimize your water use. So yeah, reaching out to any one of our sales team or myself, happy to help walk you through what that means and how to get started.
And then Ryan, as far as pricing, really it adjusts to the amount or level of technology I'm using. Is this correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that we're going to be building is a tiered structure of solutions. So starting at the remote satellite side is one tier that's very easy entry to get into the technology space. As you start adding more sensors, it gets more it's a different tier that you're moving to. And then when you move to full automation, that's our third tier, where you're really not just getting the data and trying to analyze and understand it, but we're actually able to fully automate your system for you. You can schedule things, turn things on and off remotely, etc.
Yeah. So, and I do want to mention too, this is what I've always felt is the value. It's not very expensive. The value is really there, especially when I compare it to the value of the crop I have in the field.
Absolutely.
I've looked at this pricing, and it's a no-brainer, I think. Right, even from just an insurance standpoint, it makes a ton of sense to do.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
So Ryan, if people have questions for you after this webinar that they want answered, or can they email you? Can they call you? What's the best way they can get a hold of you?
They can email me anytime. My email address is right there on the screen. There are contact information on, like I said, the Jain USA website. Feel free to reach out. Happy to talk to anybody about the space and what we can do for them.
Yeah, so I think what's really key here, Ryan, kind of in conclusion, is that for Jain Logic users, nothing's going to change. We can still expect and receive the same high quality information, data, irrigation scheduling we've had before, along with the customer service, and things really pricing wise, everything's going to remain steady with improvements coming over the next few months.
Absolutely. Yep. Everything remains the same. Your team that you know and love, that supported you so far, will still be there for you, and the product will only improve in the future. You'll see a lot of new and exciting features and technology being rolled into the platform.
Yeah, and you're so right about that. It is such a good team to work with. It's hard to find a group of people that are so dedicated or committed to this. It's more than just an ag tech product. It's about helping growers all over get better about saving water, improving yields and production.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I love about this group that we work with, is everybody's incredibly dedicated and really driven to provide value to the customer and support them and help them optimize and grow as well as they can.
Yeah.
Great
Well, listen,
team.
Ryan, congratulations to you. Congratulations to the entire team. You can just see this is going to take you ahead and forward at a faster acceleration than what you could experience on your own. So it's really great to feel this synergy happening. Congratulations again. I want to thank everybody who joined us today for tuning in. Remember, you can watch all of our irrigation training series at the jainsusa.com /trainings page, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You know, I love the fact that people are out there working, managing water, and educating at the same time. It's one of my favorite things. Helps get me going every morning. Next week, we're going to be back with some interesting information about the landscape industry and what's happening right now as we had a kind of a postponement of spring. So we're going to be talking about that next week. Hope to join us. Again, Ryan, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on today.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.